So recording is started here. So we'll go ahead and get started. And I just want to say again, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for our April Arizona Indian Education Association General Meeting. We are excited to have you here and thankful that you are joining us and taking time to be with us this morning, especially today. Today is Good Friday for those who celebrate Easter. And I know that with the Pasquayaki tribe, they've had a very busy past few weeks, and it's finally coming towards the end of all their activities. But we do want to acknowledge the ceremonies that all of our tribes and our Native community do during this special time. So happy Good Friday, everybody. And again, thank you for joining us. I'll go ahead and get our meeting started for today. So Nawa Kwahat Hatsoem Toya Goigu Masep Chawina, Oklahoma, Aim Da, Kimberly Denkabigay Khan. Good morning. My name is Kimberly Denkabigay. I am the coordinator for the Amphitheater Public Schools here in Tucson. I am of the Kiowa, Caddo, and Pawnee Nations, originally from Oklahoma, and I currently sit as the president for AIEA. If you'll just bear with me just a few minutes, I would like to read an acknowledgement statement, land acknowledgement statement that we do at every opportunity we can. And of course, we always encourage you to do the same. So if you'll just bear with me a few minutes while I read our statement for AIEA. Beneath the contemporary surface of any site in the United States, there are histories of belonging that have been erased, overlooked, contested, and forgotten, all ways to support ideas like manifest destiny, which justified the conquest of native lands. Between 1776 and 1887, the United States seized over 1.5 billion acres from America's indigenous people by treaty and executive order. There are currently 574 sovereign tribal nations, variously called tribes, nations, bands, pueblos, communities, and native villages that have a formal nation-to-nation relationship with the United States government. There are 334 federally and state recognized American Indian reservations in 2010. These 574 tribal nations are located across 35 states within the geographical borders of the United States. Even within the US borders, each tribal nation exercises its own sovereignty. Each of the 574 tribal governments is legally defined as a federally recognized tribal nation. Every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who have contributed their hopes, their dreams, and energy to making history that led to this moment in time. Some were brought here against their will. Some were drawn to leave their distant homes in hope of a better life. And some have lived on this land for more than generations than can be counted. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. We begin this effort to acknowledge what has been buried by honoring the truth. Today, we acknowledge the ancestral lands of the Acamel Otham and the Peepush people upon which our AIEA headquarters stands. I also acknowledge the homelands of the Tahana Atham and the Waymade Pasquayaki people upon which I currently am. We pay respects to their elders, past and present. Please take a moment to consider the many legacies, displacement, migration, and settlement that brings us here together today. And please join us in uncovering such truth at any and all public events. So I just want to say thank you for your time and allowing us to read this very important land acknowledgement for where we are at. And I encourage you that if you don't know the lands upon where you're currently at, to find out what those are, and at every event that you have and at every opportunity to help share and educate others about whose lands that you are upon. So thank you for your patience and time and hearing us out for this important statement. So at this time, I would like introductions to take place, and I'm going to start with our executive board who are on the call at this time. As a reminder, I did mention to those earlier, we have two officers that are unable to be with us this morning. That is our secretary, who is Jerry Thomas. She is in the Phoenix area. She currently works with the Salt River Pima Indian School, community schools. And so she was unable to be with us today, as well as our co-secretary, who is Lynn Yazi, and she works with the Phoenix Union High School district there in the Phoenix area. So they are unable to be with us this morning, but we do have our other officers here. So I am going to turn it over. We'll start with our Vice President, Esther.
Hello, yat shikelo shitne twitter chitni nishla Telegana Bashachin Ashini Dashiche Telegana Dashin Mali Esther Nystrom Unisha. Hi, my name is Esther Nystrom. I'm the program specialist for the Native American Education Program with Mesa Public Schools, and I am also sitting as the current Vice President for the Arizona Indian Education Association. Thank you for letting me be here today, and it's nice to see all of you.
Thank you. Travis?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Travis Lane. I'm the Assistant Director for Intertribal Council of Arizona and Treasurer for the Arizona Indian Education Association. It's so good to see many people here. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, so I'm going to go down the list of how I see your name, and if you could just please introduce yourself. If you are of a tribe, please list what tribe you are, where you work, and thank you for joining us. So we'll start off with Brandy Espuma.
Hello, Skatash Anian Amjiga Brandy Espuma Anian Amja Jokranjo Datam Joed. Hello, my name is Brandy Espuma. I come from the Danatam Nation. I currently work with the University of Arizona. I'm a Native American Outreach Admissions Counselor. It's a long title. I currently work with Shauna as well. She's going to be in here a little bit later, so thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Brooke. We're excited for your presentation. She will be one of our special presenters later on the agenda. Next, we have Brooke Curly Hair.
Yat everybody. Hello, my name is Brooke Curly Hair. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself really quick in my native tongue. Yat Brooke Curly Hair Yinishia Yatina Atachini Nisla, but any Bashachin Kitlichi Dashache Ado de Bethlishina A Dashanele. I am the program coordinator for the Office of Indian Education within the Arizona Department of Education. Thank you all so much for being here, and I hope everybody has a great Friday if I don't have time to say that later, but also have a great holiday weekend. Thank you.
Always great to see you, Brooke. Thank you for joining us. Next, we have Carissa.
Hi, good morning. I'll follow suit and introduce myself. Yat Abine Shay Carissa Sandestina Shepi Petoni Nishlik the Chini Bashashin Kia Ani Dashe Torachini Dashanale. It's Apikin Dant Nasha Akut Egots on Nishle. So hi, I'm Carissa Sundust. I work for Maricopa Community Colleges in their district office for the Office of American Indian Outreach. I'm a student services analyst, and I'm here representing the 10 colleges. And then let's see. Oh, I'm Navajo, just based on my introduction. So thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Carissa. It's always good to have you here. Next, we have Donna.
Let me see on it is Sinajini Nishlat by Dislani by the Shute Bitani Dashanala, and I'm Navajo. I work for Partnership with Native Americans here in the Valley, and I've been with them for a while, and I just saw the thing online, so thought I join in. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us, Donna. We welcome you always to come back and be with us in our future meetings. We meet every month, so thank you for joining us this morning. Next, we have Katie.
Good morning, everybody. I am Katie Parker with White River Unified School District up in the White Mountains. Send you greetings this Good Friday day.
Awesome. Thank you. Always great to have you joining us also. Next, we have Mona.
Hi, I am Mona Berry. I am from Maricopa Unified School District. I am filling in for Terry Ponticello. And I am very looking forward to getting to know the Native American community because I am new to Arizona and I have not had a lot of contact with the Native American communities. So I'm looking forward to learning more. Thank you.
Well, that's great. Welcome to Arizona. Thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions about anything we speak about today or any questions you would like answered, feel free to drop them in the chat box and we'll be able to give a response back to you. If not in the meeting, we can also do that during through our email. But welcome, and you know, it's always a great space to learn, and we're all learning from each other. So thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Next, we have Monique.
Hi, good morning. My name is Monique Sosi. I'm the program manager for the American Indian Research Center for Health at the Intertribal Council of Arizona. I am Navajo, originally from Tuba City.
Thank you, Monique. Monique keeps us up to date with a lot of student opportunities, so we appreciate her keeping us all updated. Next, we have Tia.
Yat ebenish a Tia Grimson's Skinisha, Ashi Hinishla, Bulgana Bishin, Bishbich Ahadashiche, Bulgana Dashanella, Twittenisha, Danasha, Ado Chandler de Kasht. Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Tia. I recently departed the Chandler School District Title VI and Johnson O'Malley program, and I will be starting with NAU at their Partnership for Native American Cancer Prevention and Bridges to Baccalaureate program as their Academic Success Coordinator Senior. So I'll be working with Native stakeholders still. So thanks for having me.
It's great to have you, Tia. And as always, we welcome you to be with us at all of our meetings and look forward to having you coming back. And excited that we have NAU represented as well. So thank you for joining us. I don't see any other new that guess that have joined on just yet. But if I miss anybody, Esther, please let me know. So with that, we will move on. Thank you, everybody, again for joining us this morning. Let me get our agenda up here so you can see what we are doing today. Next on the agenda, we have the approval of our minutes. And for our meeting minutes, we do not have our February just yet, but we do have our March 25th meeting minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and post those up here on the screen so that everybody can take a look at that. And I just ask that you just quickly go through these. And after we're done, then we can do a motion to approve or disapprove the minutes. If there's any corrections, please let me know. So we'll give a few minutes just to quickly go through these. Okay, so those are the meeting minutes. The only correction that I had was just up on Lois's name. I just made a correction to correct how her last name is spelled. But other than that, I did not see any other corrections. Did anybody else see any other corrections that need to be done? If not, then I would like to call for a motion.
Can you go down to Hill Week, please?
To which one, Esther?
Hill Week on B. I also gave an overview of two sessions that I attended.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
do remember that. Okay, thank you. Travis, was this all correct?
Yes, I think the numbers are correct. Yes.
Okay, if there are no other corrections, I would like to call for a motion to approve.
This is Esther. I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for March 25th.
And I
Okay.
second.
Motion on the floor, second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? And motion passed. Thank you very much. Okay, so with that, we will move on into our president's report. Again, I apologize, I don't have our slides up, but we do have our agenda here so you can see what's coming up next. But I just wanted to make a few mention of a few things that are coming up. Again, just want to say Happy Easter for those who celebrate that. We always pay respects to our Native education or Native communities and the ceremonies that are being provided here in this area where I currently am, which is the Pasquayaki people. And so they do have ceremonies that take place for over the past few weeks. And then today is Palm Sunday, Good Friday. So today they acknowledge the crucifixion of Christ at dusk, followed by processions and vigils throughout the day until midnight. And then tomorrow they'll have the La Gloria ceremony, which is followed by an all-night vigil and traditional dances. Easter Sunday, they do the Marichin dance, the Maypole mass, and then the final procession. So those are a few of the ceremonies that the Pasquayaki perform during this special time. And it's as I mentioned, it's a week-long ceremonies that they provide during this time, starting with the Palm Sundays. And so we just want to acknowledge the traditional ceremonies as part of the special time of the year, as well as for the Orthodox Easter that is celebrated on Sunday with the crucifixion of Christ, and on the third day, which is today, that he rose. And then on Easter Sunday is the day that is acknowledged as where he arose from the grave. So happy Easter to one and all, and enjoy your time. Be safe if you're traveling, and enjoy your special time with families. Next, I just wanted to acknowledge that our Arizona Johnson O'Malley quarterly forum is still taking place. And then we have our upcoming forum that will take place next week, or on the 28th. Actually, that'll be in 2 weeks. So on April 28th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Arizona Phoenix time, we will have our second quarterly forum that we started in January. So the meeting schedule that we're going to have will be in April 28th, July 28th, and October 27th. So if you can mark those dates on your calendars, there will be a reminder coming out to all those who we have contact information for. If you would like information for that, then please drop your email in the chat box and we will add you to that list to start receiving updates and notifications for our upcoming forums. This is a time where we come together, all the JOM contractors in Arizona, to unite and discuss any challenges with JOM, to gain guidance and share best practices. At the forum, we also discussed we have discussed the student count process, which is an ongoing conversation we're currently having. We provide training needs where we share out of what training needs to happen to improve our JOM programs, and we share ideas for more effective management of these Johnson O'Malley programs. And it also provides an opportunity to collaborate in unison and to create a unified, consistent, and support structure for our Arizona Indigenous students. We do work with the Bureau of Indian Education. They have attended our forum and are looking forward to coming back and they are actually told us that they will be bringing some of their colleagues to join them at our next meeting. And so we're looking forward to having them there, and they provide answers to the questions that we have. If they don't have the answers right away, then they work to get those answered to us, and then we share those out with our constituents. And so again, that our next forum will take place April 28th from 9 to 12. Next, I just wanted to highlight just a few news items. The first one is the Freeport McMoran, which is a nonprofit foundation here in the Phoenix area. They recently announced an investment of $6 million to increase access to higher education for Native American students as part of an expanded partnership with Education Forward Arizona to help 200 Native American students graduate by 2026. This will support 2 cohorts of 100 Native American students, providing scholarships up to $6,000 annually and support services that help them succeed in pursuing and completing a post-secondary education. The importance of this scholarship is not only the amount of money the students will be awarded, but it's actually the mentoring and advising that comes with it. It's over a 4-year period, so these students will be helped from the time they start their scholarship until they complete their degree, where they will be assigned an advisor. So I will drop that article information. I did try the first link earlier and it didn't really work, but it may work for you. But there are 2 links that should be in there for the article if you want to read more about that. Again, that's a nonprofit organization who's investing $6 million to support Native American college students. And so let me drop this in case you can't depict which link is separate from the first one. And so secondly, I wanted to talk about, there's an upcoming webinar that's going to take place on Tuesday, April 19th. It's sponsored by the National Association of Tribal Historic Preservation Officers and the Natural History Museum and the Wilderness Society. This webinar is titled Races and Offensive Place Names, the Movement to Rename Mountains, Rivers, and Valleys. They have a little description of what this webinar will be about. So it's going to discuss these different places that have names that are offensive to a lot of the Native American communities. And this is something that is going to be discussed during this time. So thousands of mountains, valleys, and rivers located on public lands have racist and problematic names. These names perpetuate a history of colonial oppression in the United States and have resulted in public lands that are not welcoming and inclusive places. It's time to change that. Join the conversation that delves into the scope of the problem and examines patterns of offensive place names in national parks. You'll hear from grassroots advocates working to change offensive places nearest to them and learn about what you can do to help. There is a registration that they are requiring. I will also drop that in the chat box. If you are interested in learning more about that webinar. Again, that's going to take place next week on April 19th. And then just a couple of more items I wanted to go over. It is coming from the Office of Indian Education at the federal level. There is a student artist competition that they are providing. It has been provided for quite some time, but they actually extended the deadline. So the deadline has been extended to April 29th. And so they asked the question, do you know any young Native artists, writers, or videographers? There's still time to submit entries for the OIE Student Artist Competition. In honor of the Office of Indian Education's 50th anniversary, they are having a student artist competition. The 2022 competition theme is 50 years of OIE, a celebration and call to action. Entries for the student artist competition should relate to the theme and show the importance of education for Native youth. So I will also drop that link in the chat box for those who are interested. Please share it out with your students. I'm sure we have tons of amazing young artists out there. And so this is an opportunity for them to be highlighted during that time. Another item I just wanted to quickly go over is the application for the Native Youth Community Project Grant. This also has been out for quite some time. The deadline is coming up very quickly, which is next Tuesday, April 19th. The purpose of the program is to provide financial assistance to projects that develop, test, and demonstrate the effectiveness of services and programs to improve the educational opportunities and achievement of Indian students in preschool, elementary, and secondary schools. So there's more information that you can learn about if you're interested in learning about that particular grant. And I will also drop that in the chat box for those who are interested in reading more about that Native Youth Community Projects grant. So those are just a few of the highlights I wanted to share with you today. I know it's not a whole lot as I've had in the past, but I want to respect our time. We do have a special presentation that will be happening, and I do want to allow some time for them to take place, as well as our other updates around the Indian country. And so with that, we do have, yes.
Excuse me, Kim, can you drop the meeting minutes into the chat as well?
Yes, I can. Let me get those.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you, Esther, for keeping up on the chat box for me. Let me.
Yeah, no problem.
On here.
And if any of you would like, please drop your contact information if you'd like to share that out with our other participants today. Thank you.
Yes, please do. Let me get those meeting minutes in here before I forget. And okay, so the meeting minutes are in the chat box for March 25th. And if you are unable to get to them, please let us know and we can email those to you out to our membership. So in closing, I do want to drop our information for our websites and our social media that they're in the chat box. This is a good way to keep up to date with any events or activities for AIEA. We also provide updated news information or issues relating to our Native community on our social media page. And we also provide announcements through our emails listserv. So again, if you would like to join the listserv and have not been receiving our updates, please drop your email in the chat box and we will be sure to get you on our email listserv. So in conclusion, AIEA continues to create safe spaces for our membership to be heard. We will also continue to work with allies and partners to make meaningful and measurable change within our organization and society as a whole, in keeping with our mission to provide research and resources to Arizona schools for American Indian students to achieve academic excellence through culturally responsive education. Thank you for your time and for those who for your time in attending this AIEA general meeting. So with that, that is all that I have for our president's report. Are there any questions? Okay, if there are none, then I am going to turn it over to our treasurer, to Travis, for our treasurer's update.
Thank you, Kim, and I appreciate your updates. Our Arizona Indian Education Association budget from Intertribal Council of Arizona, there was no charges in the month of March. Let's see, hold on. I did sign into the Desert Finance. We do have a Desert Financial account. Sorry, it was open, but that closed out. I apologize. It's taken a while for me to get onto this. Letting me in. Come on now, come on.
While Travis is looking for that, I just want to let everybody know I did put the meeting minutes and the portion of the treasurer's report up there just to kind of follow along with the numbers from last month compared to this month. So That'll help
Yeah.
out, Travis.
Yeah, there were no expenses really from the last month to this month. And I signed in and then I signed back in. Sorry. Yeah, I apologize. There should not have been any more expenses from March, but I can't sign in right now to the account to report where we're at, but we should be okay. Mouse isn't even working very well. And we do have a Venmo account. It's a zero balance there too as well. But I apologize. Hey.
No worries. While Travis is looking for that, he always provides an update also about the history of our financial situation with AIEA during that time as well. And so Travis, just cut me off if you find it and get in there. But
Yeah, I no, normally I was on there before this meeting so I can report on the amount, and then all of a sudden it locked me out, and then I can't find it anymore. So but just to let you know that there were no expenses, extra expenses after the last meeting. So just want to let you know that.
okay. All right. So as I mentioned, we do have the meeting minutes that was shared in our chat box as well as what's on the screen. Those are the numbers currently that we have for our treasurer's report for AIEA. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us and we will get back to you for any questions with that. Just as a reminder for those who may not be aware of our financial situation and history with that, as I mentioned, Travis usually provides that in the past has always provided that history of our financial and how AIEA came under and is now has the ITCA as our fiscal agent. And so a group of parents and how the monies were allocated back then, the parents at the time needed a forum to come together and talk about the education issues. So that's how AIEA was created. In the 80s, they started a formal organization with the support of the Office of Indian Education. And in 2003, we officially became a nonprofit organization. And so in 2015, there was a discussion to dissolve AIEA, but the educators decided that there is still a need. And so that's about the time that I became involved because I hadn't been involved prior to that time. And so Travis has a wealth of knowledge of the history of AIEA. So again, if you have any questions about the organization itself, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll forward those to Travis so Travis can answer. But again, thank you, Travis, for your time. And we appreciate your patience, everybody, and providing this report. But as I mentioned, there's the numbers there. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. So at this time, are there any questions? Okay, if there are none, then we will move on in our agenda. And so next we have is our Indian education updates. And so this is a time where we would like to provide updates from across the state as well as our national updates. And so I am going to turn some time over to Brooke. She is the one that I see on here. And so Brooke, if you don't mind just providing any updates from the Office of Indian Education at the state level.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kimberly. Right now, we do not have any policy updates. I know Sami's usually the one that comes on and gives the whole policy spiel, but we don't have any updates right now. We do have general OIE updates. So this coming Monday, for those of you that aren't aware, we have a monthly gathering that's aimed to provide rich information and highlight ADE programs, state legislative updates, as well as other federal or state programs and policies that support education efforts across the state. That is going to be held again this Monday, the 18th, I believe, at 10 a.m. And I will drop the links to all these programs after this spiel. So we highly encourage everybody, if you have not attended, to attend those. There's a wealth of information and sharing out that happens at that monthly gathering. Additionally, we have some summer professional development series coming up. Our professional learning coordinator, Helen Thomas, has been working very hard to put together some great professional learning opportunities. The first one that's going to be coming up is integrating Indigenous perspectives in social studies. So this one is going to have the Arizona social studies standards that require Indigenous people and tribal governments are taught across grades K through 12, but we know that teachers struggle to incorporate Indigenous voices. So this PD is going to be able to give you those specific workshops or opportunities to build educators' content knowledge. There's going to be 4 sessions in July that specifically target like grade areas 6 through 8 or high school or K to 2. So they've done a really great job at focusing this content specifically for teachers' respective grades. And in addition to that, they're also doing another professional development series that's called Reclaiming the Narrative. So this one's going to be teaching the truth about Native American boarding schools. This one's going to be a 2-part virtual professional learning series, and it's going to include some really great stuff. This one is also in July and will be, I guess, divided amongst grade levels as well. I will drop the link for this series. They do ask, or they are asking that you register for the series, and I'm not sure if slots are limited, but I would register as soon as possible just to solidify your seat in those series. And with that one, it's going to take you to our internal sign up page for all professional learning series. So you can go ahead and figure out what grade level you specifically want to sign up for and move through that. We also, as Kimberly mentioned, I think last month I saw on the minutes that our Indian Education Advisory Council, IEAC, we are still seeking members to apply. So if you guys could please continue to share out that information, we do want to fill those seats and make sure that we have an array, or I guess a diverse set of students that can advise and assist the Department of Education. And 2 more items, sorry. The Arizona Humanities came up with a really great initiative for K-12 students and teachers. So from special fundings from the American Rescue Plan, the Arizona Humanities is excited to announce their new initiative, which is engaging literacy programs in K through 12 schools within Arizona. What's really great about this specific program is that it's an opportunity to seek diverse literacy programs, which incorporate historical, cultural studies and other languages within Arizona. So this is a great opportunity to include like reading and discussion programs, but also they're providing a space to get funding for storytelling or creative writing or cultural sharing out. So just a different way to integrate cultural learning and being culturally responsive into your classrooms. And I'll drop this link in there as well. And finally, I just wanted to give the organization a special shout out for sending opportunities to our office. We love to highlight community initiatives and community opportunities. And we have been receiving some very receptive feedback that we are highlighting a diverse set of community opportunities. And I know this organization specifically always sends us opportunities for not only youth youth opportunities, but also community and general opportunities. And we really, really appreciate that. And I just want to give you guys a quick shout out and tell you that I really, really appreciate all that great content that you guys give us to share out. And for anybody that's new to the meeting, I'm going to drop our general inbox into the chat so that if you feel that you have an opportunity you want to share out, you are more than welcome to send those opportunities to our general Indian education inbox, and we will highlight those for you. And that is everything. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Brooke. And we just want to give a shout out back to the Office of Indian Education for sharing out our opportunities that we provide on behalf of our organization, such as our youth camps and our upcoming scholarships and any of our webinar series that we have provided. So it's really exciting to see our logo and our information out there getting shared out too. So thank you for that and for keeping up with that. And we'll continue to share out those opportunities. So thank you for all those updates. That's a lot that the AIEA is doing. They've done a fantastic, absolute wonderful job in getting all of these programs and opportunities for our educators out there and getting them up and running. And so I know you guys do a lot of work, but you have a great team. And so thank you for all that you guys do. So does anybody have any questions for Brooke? Because Brooke has all the answers. Just kidding.
I will say, if I don't know the answer, I will go find it and come
Absolutely.
back.
Good answer, good answer. All right, if there are none, then we will move on in our agenda to our National Indian Education Association. I do not see Joaquin Preston is usually the one who is on the call with us, but I do not see that he is on the call with us today. And I haven't had any other updates to date from NIEA, but Esther, I'm going to turn it over to you. You usually have a pretty good idea of anything national that's going on.
I'm laughing because I have been fully engaged in my program. We have plenty coming up in recent. So I haven't even looked at Facebook that much to see what's going on nationally. Literally, I could not tell you specifically what's happening on nationally. So I am truly sorry for that.
No worries, no worries. We will usually get a update from Joaquin, and as soon as we get that update from him, then we will definitely share that out with our membership. And so I was trying to see if I could find something very quickly from them. I know they send out emails, but of course I've been super busy here with our program as well, so I haven't been able to look at any of their updates that they've had recently. But again, we'll get that information out to you, and please look in the chat box, pull that information from there, because there's a lot of information that's going in there. And again, if you happen to miss anything, we will send out a follow-up email with what's being shared here today. And so with that, yes.
Kim, I just know that they've been advertising the NIEA conference coming up.
Yes.
And that's the big thing they've been pushing right now, just information around that.
Absolutely. That is actually going to be taking place October 5th through the 8th. That's going to take place in Oklahoma, at Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I believe it's going to be at the convention center there this year. And so we'll get the updated information. I think they've already put out information for the conference coming up. So we'll get that information as well and send that out also to our membership. And actually, I just found it. So it will take place in at the Oklahoma City Convention Center. And let me see if I can get a website here for everybody.
And if you do plan on attending the conference, my suggestion is to reserve your hotel room now before they fill up.
Yes, they absolutely fill up quickly with AIEA. Okay, so this is, I'm going to drop the web link there for their annual convention and trade show. Their theme is Education Sovereignty, Our Choice. This is their 53rd annual convention and trade show. again, happening in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, October 5th through the 8th. They are in a new era of Native education, empowered through sovereignty, self-governance, and the actualization of the impact of our Indigenous knowledge learning models focused on sharing and observing through compassion, generosity, and wisdom. So that's a little bit about why they selected that theme. This practices the right to choose how our students learn. This is education sovereignty, our culture, our curriculum, our schools, our students, our choice. So what a powerful theme that they're having for this conference. And so they are, again, well, the information or the link is there, so you can go on their website to find out more information about what they are doing for the conference area there. And again, if you are attending, I highly encourage you again to book your rooms, your travel arrangements, and the whole works. So thank you, Esther, for bringing that up and reminding
I
me.
have something to add to the NIEA conference.
Sure.
If you are in the mode of wanting to teach a class, a workshop, a research presentation, their deadline to submit any of that is April 29th by 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. So if you'd like to do that, just go on the NIEA website and look for a proposal so you can teach whatever you like to the participants that are going to the conference.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Good teamwork. All right. Are there any questions? All right. If there are none, I am going to stop sharing. And we have a special presentation today that's going to be provided by the University of Arizona's Office of Admissions. And so we have special guest speakers, Shauna Nelson and Brandy Espuma with us this morning. And so we're right on time, ladies. So thank you so much for joining us today. You should have privileges to share just the screen. Let me know if you don't. You are co-host. I made you co-host to share any PowerPoint presentation you would like. So at this time, I am going to turn it over to Shauna and Brandy. Thank you again for being with us.
Awesome. Can you see this and hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for inviting us to this meeting. We're super excited just to present to you guys and give a little bit of an overview of what we've been doing and what our jobs entail. So I'll go ahead and reintroduce myself again. My name is Brandy Espuma. I come from the Lenape Nation, and I currently overlook Southern Arizona and Eastern tribes for the University of Arizona. And I'll go ahead and let Shauna introduce herself.
Hi, good afternoon. Is Shauna Nelson. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Shauna Nelson. I am Navajo. I'm from Navajo Nation. And I currently overlook some schools in the Phoenix Valley, Northern Arizona, and all of New Mexico. So I am actually on the road right now. I am in Gallup, New Mexico. So glad and thank you guys for having us.
Awesome. Thank you, Shauna. Yeah, so we are always pretty busy. Like Shauna said, she's on the road currently. So I'll just go ahead and show a little bit more details of what we cover. So for myself, like I said, I cover Southern Arizona and then Eastern Arizona tribes. So this is my map of the schools that I cover. Everything from the Lenape Nation all the way out to Ajo and then up to almost Holbrook in the Show Low Pine Top area. Those reservations are Lenape, Pasquayaki, San Carlos, White Mountain Apache. Those tribes are my main focus. And then also going in the outliers of where students are. So I do have a huge focus in Tucson as well for the urban natives, but also as well Santa Vera District, which is a part of the Lenape Nation. And so yeah, so that's a little bit of my territory and what I cover. I'm always a visual person, so hopefully that helps of where we are at. And then I'll let Shauna show her spot as well.
Yeah, so like I said before, I have some schools, looks like quite a bit in the Phoenix area, but I also go up north towards, even though I don't oversee a lot of the western portions or like Flagstaff, and as Indigenous and student outreach admissions, we also work to go into communities that maybe have, like, for example, Flagstaff has a dormitory. So like I would like to go to theirs. So that's why you see kind of a little bit pop up of different areas also near Flagstaff. But I go as far west as Grand Canyon, all the way up north to Page, and then everywhere between there and New Mexico. And I do cover all of New Mexico. I just have yet to go to southern New Mexico, but I was in New Mexico all last week visiting all those balloons you see in northern New Mexico. So that's anywhere from really a vast majority of Navajo Nation, and then Hopi and Apaches, as well as any of the 22 different tribes in New Mexico, or 27.
Yeah, so we cover a lot. It may, between our two, it kind of looks a little, let me go back. Between our two territories, it's like kind of broad, but that's where we kind of have our coverage. And then in between our two territories, we also do a huge coverage of both cities. So both Shauna and I cover the other high schools in the Phoenix area and Tucson area that maybe they have a low Native American outreach point, but that's just because our jobs are admissions counselors and then Native American outreach, hoping to have that Native American outreach expand more as we move forward in our positions. And just a little bit of a notice, we've been in these positions for myself a little bit more than a year, and then Shauna a little bit like 6 months, 5 months. Yeah, so we are getting in there trying to present to these schools, and also like in our title, it says admissions counselor, not just like a recruiter. We're trying to explain to students who don't have or are not familiar with higher education, and trying to help those counselors and students understand what it means, the vocabulary of coming into higher education, and really just helping those students through the entire timeline. So we start as early as the summertime for recruitment, but also just getting those, how to fill out a FAFSA, how to do the application, how the University of Arizona's application is similar to the other in-state universities, and how can that help, and also what questions to ask recruiters, because we know that for our students, some universities are just looking to recruit them for native numbers or diversity. So we always try to outreach to our students to make sure that they're choosing universities or even tribal community colleges for the right purpose and why they're going into higher education. But of course, we are always just trying to push forward U of A as the best one of those choices. But yeah, that's just a little bit more detail of our positions. And then I'll go ahead and go into our current outreach. So our current outreach kind of persists of a different, or like a plethora of different ways we're trying to get to Native students. It's been a little bit difficult with the pandemic. I started in March of 2021. So that was like prime time, fully virtual, those type of presentations. And then at the beginning of fall 2021, that's when we started going more in person. So a huge new learning curve for the both Shauna and I. So this is what we have so far. So Native specific presentations for tribal or financial aid, what that looks like, how to fill out your scholarship letters, how to contact your specific tribe and see if they have financial aid available to you, or even if you're split up in chapters or districts, anything like that, how can we help you reach that funding? Also, Native newsletters on this side, we have just an example of what our newsletter kind of looks like. So having our resources page for our Native American brochure for the University of Arizona on this, and then also our different presentations that we've had for funding for Indigenous students, and then also that timeline of what it looks like for tribal aid. So we always try to outreach to those students. For this newsletter, we had over 1,000 of these sent out to emails for prospective students and also admitted students, just so that they know that we're here. We also held a very big event in March, which was our Native American and Arizona Experience event. The University of Arizona holds an Arizona Experience event, which is just a huge event for anybody to join the on a weekend to talk to different colleges, as well as financial aid, study abroad, all of those main. But this specific Arizona event had a focus on Native American students, talking about that tribal aid, talking about Otham Key, which is our Native American housing here on the university campus, and just putting those types of presentations in front of them and seeing how the University of Arizona supports our Native or Indigenous students. Also, attending community and event and tablings, always trying to get our name out there. A lot of universities don't have the specialized role within their admissions office. So we're always trying to say the University of Arizona really tries to focus on the Native American initiatives, and this role has been here for a really long time. I think we're probably in our 4th, 5th gen of having Shauna and I of this role. So really trying to make sure that everybody knows that these roles are here, and we're trying to just get the word out there that there is help for Native American students at the university level. Also attending large conferences such as Unity and ACES. We've been to both and trying to just recruit students there, but also get them more familiar with the University of Arizona. When we, at least for one of my experience, I went to Ajo a few months ago, and they were like, where's the University of Arizona? And I've lived here my whole life, and I was like, you don't know where the U of A is at? And so it is a kind of just a different experience going out to those communities. So that's a little bit of our current outreach. And then we have our future outreach as well. Future outreach is kind of skim compared to our current one, just because as the school year is dwindling down, our schools have more events to celebrate their students, especially their senior classes, and they also have out of school testing. So we're really trying to work with our high schools to see when we can get in and just present to students on moving forward, especially seniors moving forward into higher education, but also they're not looking to go to the U of A. How else can we help them go into their tribal community colleges with scholarships, anything like that? Just being a present always at their high schools. And of course, we've had one presentation for tribal aid. That was back in March as well. We also have our note card initiative focused on prospective and admitted students. So we're always just trying to make sure that they're seen and heard, and they have that Indigenous focus, that they got a special card saying, hi, congratulations on being admitted, or thank you for your interest in the University of Arizona. How can we help? Just making sure that our students feel a little bit more special. And like I said, that initiative is really wide, and for how many Native students across the country we reach out to. We always try to make sure that our Arizona is our focus with those students, but we are trying to make sure that we get out of Arizona and also into the nation. We also are hoping to put more in-person events. The Arizona Experience event back in March was like our first real in-person event with Native American students. We know our Native Americans communities are really stricter because of the pandemic, and allowing visitors or even having their students going out of their high schools for a visit. So we're trying to invite students to come onto the U of A campus and really experience the campus and higher education itself, because we found that that's when students are really interested in saying, like, this is possible for me, this is a real goal of mine. And for these past few years, they've just been stuck in front of a screen. So we're hoping to get more collaborations for in-person events with our specialized tours for them, but also with our university departments. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. This is our contact information if you guys have any questions.
All right. Thank you so much for that presentation. It's always encouraging to see the outreach for our Native students. When I was in high school, I didn't get a whole lot of that. Of course, I was a small town Oklahoma school, but it's always great to see that outreach that for our Native community and our students to encourage them. So thank you, Shauna and Brandy. Are there any questions for Shauna or Brandy at this time? Okay, if you at any time have any questions about the admissions process or would like a specialized tour, as I mentioned, please let us know. We will get your contact information to Shauna or Brandy so that way they can reach back out to you. And again, they have their contact information up there, and we will also share that out in a follow-up email. So thank you, ladies, again for your time and being here with us today, for doing this wonderful presentation for us. And thank you, Shauna, for presenting, even though you're traveling. So we appreciate your time and being with us this morning. So yeah, to both of you, and thank you for being with us. So,
Awesome.
all right.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so with that, we will get back into our agenda time. And we don't have a whole lot more to discuss. I was able to get some slides up and put this up here. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Okay, does everybody see the slide?
Yes, it states old business.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so next on our agenda, we do have our old business that's next. And with that, I just wanted to quickly go over our student scholarship that we're having, as well as our education series that is coming up. So with our student scholarship, we are going to be meeting. That will come up in the next few weeks. We are actually, I think our first meeting will be next week, where we're going to go over and review our application, update the application, and we're going to try and get that out by May. So we'll be able to put that out for our students. So please help us spread the word and sharing about our student scholarship. We do hope and foresee that we'll have a lot more applications coming in this year. And I know students are probably tired of doing so many applications online, but this is a great opportunity that we try and provide for all of our students. And we give out 3 different scholarships. And so the first 3 the 3 categories that we give out scholarships for are our middle school, our high school, and our college. And so with that, we have different awards that we provide for our middle school. We haven't had a whole lot of middle school applications over the years. And so last year we decided to just narrow it down to just one scholarship for all of middle school. And so if you have any middle schoolers that's 6th through 8th grade that would like to participate and complete the application, please encourage them to do so. Again, all of our scholarship information will be up on our website. We will let you know when that gets updated, so that way you can download the application and help your middle schoolers fill out the application. That award is $150. All the awards will go directly to the student, and they can use it for whatever educational purposes they need it for. It does not go to the college. It doesn't go to the school. It goes directly to the student. So please ensure for those students who do complete the application that their name and address and contact information is legible to read. So that way we can get the payment to them correctly. With that, we have our high school awards. We give out 3 awards for that level, and that is at $400 a piece. And our college and university award, which also includes graduate students, is currently set at $700. So these are tentative amounts right now. We, as I mentioned, we are going to meet for this year's scholarship. So we will take a look. It may or may not be the same, but just be aware that these are the amounts that we had for all of our scholarships last year. As I mentioned, we do have 3 different categories that we provide for our scholarships, and that's the first category is our academics. So if you have students who are doing well academically, have a high GPA, we encourage them to fill out for the academic scholarship. If they don't, if they're involved in a lot of things like student clubs or organizations, or just really involved and also doing well in school, then we encourage them to do the exemplary scholarship information or scholarship application. That's our second category that we award out to. And our final category is our Make a Difference Scholarship. The Make a Difference Scholarship was created for students who may not make the grade, but as we all are all well aware that we have amazing students out there in our Native communities who may not quite make the GPA or make the grade, but they excel in other areas such as fine arts or the music industries, anything outside of academics. They're really involved in doing volunteer work with their community, whether it's with their local community where they're at, or even their tribal community. So that's the type of scholarship that the Make a Difference is created for. And so there's specifics that we look for each scholarship, and that's what we are having that the webinar series that we currently are providing. This will be our 4th session, which will be coming up, is our education webinar series. And so with that, we have, it began in February, and we are honored and privileged that we had Dr. Amanda Jeremiah, who was our presenter for the first 4 sessions. And so the final session she will be doing will actually be today. We have been sending this out and trying to promote this. We haven't had too many participate, but at every webinar of attendees that we have, we are giving away a door prize. And so those who we've only had one participate, they automatically get the door prize. But it's a great prizes that we provide. So we encourage you to please share out with your students. Again, this reflects back upon our scholarship that we provide for our AIEA. And it's really specifics and recommendations of what we're looking for in applying for our specific scholarship. So we've had, as I mentioned, the 3 that are listed here. Our final one for with Dr. Jeremiah will be how to obtain a recommendation letter. So with that, in the past, we've had recommendation letters that have come in, but they haven't really highlighted specifically for the scholarship they're applying for or from that cultural perspective. And so with our scholarship, we really want to emphasize that with our students, because we want our students to be proud of where they come from and who they are, and never forget that that's who makes them as an individual and what's going to help them in life's journey. And so these are specific recommendations that we provide at all of these webinar series that we have. They are going to be uploaded on our YouTube channel. And so we did drop that information in the chat box earlier. So we encourage you, if any of your students have missed any of the sessions, please share the sessions with them from our YouTube channel. We will let you know when they're all uploaded. I think we may only have one so far, but we'll get those uploaded so that way we'll be able to share out. Our final 5th session will be done by our secretary, Ms. Jerry Thomas, and she's our scholarship coordinator, and she will share out about going through the application process and completing the application for our student scholarship. So right now we have the date set for May 9th. The time will change for this one session, which will take place from 6 to 7:30. We will send out reminders for that as it gets closer. And again, please share out the flyer that was shared out with our email listserv for today's meeting, as well as on our social media pages. And so with that, are there any questions in regards to our scholarship or the education webinar series? Okay, if there are none, then we will move on in our agenda, which is our new business. So this is our cultural webinar series that we have. We started this in January, and these are, as you see here, these are the dates that we had for different invited guest speakers to present cultural and traditional stories. This was done during the winter time, so they were able to share winter stories about specific for their culture. As you see, we have a diverse variety of guest speakers that provided this information to us. Mr. Panal was not able to provide his presentation, but we are currently trying to connect with him to see if he's available in the future. And so with that, we just wanted to bring this to your attention that we would like to continue this series. We did have one of our guest speakers talk about, because it originally was intertribal storytelling, and he had made a good comment that he wasn't a storyteller because storytellers are, they talk about things that in his definition, talk about things that didn't happen, or like fairy tale information or stories that they share out. And so he shared that he would like to be called a cultural sharer. And so we changed our title to Intertribal Cultural Shares, which makes sense because we are sharing out different tribes and different cultures and different traditions. We're unique in our own ways with every Native community that we have. And so this is a chance for us to share out those different and unique qualities and traditions that we have among our people, and share it out and educate each other about what we do and how we continue in our life's journey. And so with that, I just wanted to put it out there that we're considering having this continue, but we would like to know what topics you would like to hear about. And so just think about that, and just due to the time, if you have any ideas, please share them with us. You can either drop it in the chat box, or you can contact us by email to let us know. But we're looking forward to having these. We know we have a lot of great traditional and cultural leaders out there who are willing to share their stories with us. And so that's who we're looking for. And if you know of any that would be interested in participating, please let us know. We do give a small honorarium for their time. So it's, as is custom in our community, if somebody does something for us, we want to provide a gift to them for their time and their knowledge that is being shared with us. And so again, if you know of anybody who is interested in providing that type of service for us, please let us know. Are there any questions or suggestions? Okay, if there are none, then we will move on in our agenda to the next topic, which is our summer youth camp. And so with this, we are still in the process of planning it. And so we would like to get feedback. And we're hoping that we're looking ahead at having this in the summertime. We would like committee members to join us. We do have a small committee that, again, we will be meeting to start planning this. Normally we have the summer camp in June, but we are open to ideas and suggestions if you think there may be a better time to hold our summer youth camp. Tentatively, we're looking, it's normally held at the end of July. The 3rd or 4th week of July is when we usually hold this camp, but we're looking for ideas and different, we're hoping that we can meet in person. And so that's what we're going to be talking about on the committee. So if you're interested in serving on this committee, please let us know. You can, again, just drop your information in the chat box specifically for our summer youth camp committee, and we will get you on board with meeting with us. And so if you're interested, please, we invite you to join us so that we can get fresh ideas and new ideas of what we can do and where we can meet. We're looking at different campsites right now around across the state. And tentatively, it's not going to be a large amount of students that we're going to invite, but it is open to all of our students within the state of Arizona. And so it's a time where we can exchange our ideas and contact information. We try and work with our tri-universities, which includes University of Arizona, Northern Arizona University, and Arizona State University. So we try and involve each college, even our tribal colleges with San Carlos and Dene College and Tohono Community College. We try and get them involved, as well as our community colleges, Pima Community College, Maricopa Community Colleges. So if you're interested in serving on the committee to help us plan this special and unique camp for our Native youth, please feel free to reach out to us and let us know. Esther, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, sorry about that. Give me a second. All right. Yeah, it's a definite positive experience for our students. They get a chance to come together, learn about each other and share stories, and also experiences that they've been dealing with in their own communities. It is available for all communities within Arizona, and so we do have students participating from different cities, and it's great for them to know not just cities but around Arizona. So please encourage your students to attend. Once we get this out there, we would really like your help in planning this. because it is rewarding, as well as being a mentor, watching students grow within the amount of time that they're together. So please join our committee. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Esther. Yes, it is a special and unique time for all of our students to get to know each other as well and get that sense of belonging and talking about our unique and beautiful culture. So again, let us know if you're interested in serving on the committee. With that, if there are no questions, we will move on in our agenda, which brings us to our program share out. So during this time, we invite those who are on the meeting to share out any events or upcoming activities with your program. This is a time to share out of all the wonderful things that you're doing. And we know that you are doing amazing and great things out there for your community and your students. And so this is a time where you can share out any upcoming events or anything we may have missed. This is a perfect time to share out. And so I'm just going to open it up to whoever would like to share. You can raise your hand or just unmute yourself.
Well,
No. Hello,
I hear someone speaking. Who is that?
this is Donna.
Donna, hi, welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Yeah, hi. Well, being that we're sharing stuff out here, I've been having, I'm with partnership with Native Americans here in the Phoenix office. Well, actually our office, we have two offices, so one in Arizona and South Dakota, and together we service 9 states, 60 tribes, and it's all tribes and rural tribes. But right now, with all the rural tribes having different COVID protocols, I was wondering if I can pitch my partnership with Native Americans session with the youth here.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Okay, well, what it is we have youth 4-direction development program here. And well, first we started with the adults, and now we're doing it with the youth. And it's been pretty hard to kind of get a hold of youth on our reservations, because we only work with reservations that are out in the rural. But I'm hearing everybody has kids here in this space right now. But we will have 5 sessions, and 3 of them were going to be in person, 2 are going to be virtuals, and all of our speakers and professional keys, we're going to have 4 keys, and they're going to be supporting the kids throughout the 4 months that we're going to do this. It's usually 6 months, but we're doing 4 months. And we'll have a motivational speaker to coming in, and the first session will be April 23 and 24, and that will be a Saturday and Sunday. And the reason why we have it on a Saturday and Sunday is because the kids are still in school. And all the rooms, there'll be 2 rooms paid for, meals are paid, the sessions paid. And if anything, if we find any kind of entertainment, then we'll add that to the something to do for the night before. And we still have seats available. And what we covered there is everything. We try to include cultural learnings and intertwining it with today's learnings. And some of that will be the strength finder, self-identity, self-care, goals, personal care, career, or the schools. And so it's pretty interesting. It's we get a lot of stuff from the adults, but this is the first time we're doing it with the youth. And so just if you're available, I did attach my phone number and my information there. But if they're going to be coming from out of town, that's when we cover the rooms. It's 2 rooms at the Drury hotels, and I just it's going to be all here in Phoenix, the in-persons. So I can see if I can find my flyer, and let's see, I can probably send it to Esther.
Donna, yeah, and I have went to a couple of the sessions that with her. She's invited me to several, and it's a wonderful opportunity. There's so much going on If you follow me on Facebook, I post awesome pictures of food, of indigenous food and dishes being made. So I've been going there and learning about food sovereignty, and that's something I'd like our district to move forward into. But we are going to be inviting our students for next Saturday and Sunday. Go ahead and send that flyer to me, and I will share it out with Miss Jerry Thomas, who can get it out to all of our members and participants. And that just brings me to another thing, Kim, and everyone here participating. If you are not a member, please send us your email, get involved, become a member so you can vote on some of these items that we're moving forward, and just get involved. We would love to have you. And we know that you're involved already because you're here and you've already taken that first step. So yeah, and Donna, thank you for that invitation. And I'll be looking forward to your email.
Yeah, sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Yes, we will be in touch, and this is as I mentioned, a space where we can share out any of those events or upcoming activities that you're having, especially for our Native youth. Also, if you have anything for educators, please share that information with us as well. We will definitely get the information out, and Donna, we will be in touch, and Esther will be sure that we get the flyer, and we'll send that out to our membership. And so thank you, Esther, for pushing out our membership application is up online. If you go to our website with the link that I shared earlier, our online application is on the website where you can download and send that in. And so again, if you're not a member of AIEA, we highly encourage you to do so. We want our membership to grow. We do great things for our students, our parents, and our community, and we want you to be a part of it. We're always welcoming fresh ideas, new ideas that we know that you have that can be shared with us. And so, yes, if you are not a member, please join us. Our membership currently runs from November 1st to October 31st. And so you still have time to be a member with us this year as well as for next year. It is an annual membership that we do every year. And so again, that application is online on our website. And so Esther, did you want to share anything else out with any events or activities you're having?
Yeah, thank you very much. So first of all, we are holding our annual conference. We had to cut it in half because of COVID during planning with the variant was going around. So that is being held at Mesa Community College. This year, JOM has dedicated additional funds for capacity building. And part of that capacity building is we've hired a professional development team to come in who will be teaching our parents and staff. So we're doing a combined conference this year with our students and our family members as well. So I'm super excited for that to be happening. That is on April 22nd for Mesa Public School students. Let's see. My baby, I'm so excited. We have a wonderful Navajo teacher coming in for this coming year. We will be beginning our level 1 Navajo language class, Dene Bazad, at Westwood High School for to be used as a high school language credit. So we'll be beginning that session again and then building on level 2. So I am super excited that this is happening. This is something I want to happen and make sure that it continues from here on, that it's not an option, that it is solid and will be there every year for our students. And then we are also having our senior celebrations. We have 6 high schools, so we're going to be breaking them up into 2 different events. And I'm looking for the flyer now, but of course, when I want it, I can't find it. So our senior celebrations is going to be held, one at Red Mountain on April 25th. So all of our students will be receiving certificates, beaded graduation feathers that they can wear on their graduation caps, and a senior grab bag as well. but then we're finishing it off with an inspirational speaker, and I think you know of them at the team crew as James and Ernie. So you are welcome. The public is welcome to attend. The price for that is that we are holding a sock drive. So you have to bring however many family members you bring, one brand new pair of socks as admission. And so it begins at 5:30, ends at 8. I'm expecting James and Ernie to be beginning about 7 o'clock. But that is part of our program, and you're more than welcome to that. And I'll make sure that a flyer goes out so you guys can come and join. Like I said, that's really not a very expensive price to attend James and Ernie brand new pair of socks. And then obviously we are still continuing with our ribbon skirt making classes, supporting Arizona House Bill 2705, making sure that our students can wear regalia, and they're making it themselves. Our classes are lasting a lot longer than I expected. I think we're into 2 months now, but that is okay. You know, they have pride in what they're wearing. So that is really important to me. Socks are always needed. Have you ever seen socks from teenagers? Like, they always have holes. So that was one focus that our kids, we spoke with our Unity group, and they were like, yeah, just do socks. We need socks. I'm like, are you sure? Okay. So that is why we chose socks, taking the input from our students. And then lastly, I have good news and sad news. I have turned in my resignation for Mesa Public Schools Native program. I've done 5 years there. I've really appreciated the time that I've been there with them. However, I am still going to be in the Native community. I am moving on to go back to school to be work on my PhD in public administration and policy. So that's a scary move, but I am moving forward with it. So I did turn in my resignation this past week, and I better put it out there because they are looking for someone to come in and run the program. I really want to make sure that it's someone who's genuine, someone who's heartfelt and has space for our students. You don't have to do as much as me. I'm just an ADHD person. I got to do all these things that I want to do, but I want the education behind me. And I am also as well starting my own business. I started my own business in ribbon skirt, Navajo skirts. However, I haven't been able to really get that off the ground. I'm going to be starting a Native American consulting business. I know that Indian education, lessons, storytelling, these things are needed in our community, and it's just not available. As a coordinator, I've tried to hire people to come in, and it's just not available. The performances that are out there are wonderful. We do bring them in, but when you want cultural learning in the classroom, who do you turn to? Unless you don't know it, you don't know it. And so you want to make sure that the truth is put out there, that our students, grade level, classroom level, whole school level has that opportunity to learn. So I am moving forward with that. I am available. I've already been starting to teach beading at different after school programs, ribbon skirt making, lanyard making, and then behind that comes the actual story as well. Where did the beads come from? What is the background history of the colors? Why did they use sinew instead of string? Why do you use wax for that beading? Where did they trade? Why does one tribe use shells and the other use turquoise? So I've gained so much knowledge, and that's a passion for me. I love doing classes. So doing the administration part and teaching classes has really overwhelmed me, and so I have to give up one of them. So I'm going to be moving in and teaching classes from here on. If you want me to come in and teach a class, I'm available. I'll put my email in here. It's bitterwateraz@gmail.com. So I am Bitterwater, but it's cheating. So I was like, yeah, that's appropriate. So thank you so much for all your hearts and great encouragement. It's been a real challenge deciding to stay or go. So I do still have a passion for my kids. And that's my, not my kids, but my school kids. So thank you.
Well, that is absolutely great news, Esther. And of course, you are always welcome to remain on board with us with AIEA. We hope that you absolutely consider staying with us.
Yeah, you may see more of me in the community because I'm still planning on giving presentations at conferences, attending the conferences, and being part of the Indigenous community. So if you'll have me.
Oh, absolutely, with open arms.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all that you've done there. And with Mesa Public Schools, you have done a fantastic and amazing work there with the students and the community there, and have really highlighted a lot of the Indigenous arts and activities within the school district there. So thank you so much for your time with working with the students in the community with Mesa Public Schools. I'm sure you are going to be greatly missed, but we are very excited and willing to walk alongside you in your new journey, and wish you all the best with that. And definitely we will, you will continue to see her with us during our monthly meetings, and maybe, just maybe, with our cultural series, she may be our teacher. But we are looking forward to that. And so thank you, Esther, for sharing that wonderful news with us. And you're going to do fantastic and great, and with your studies as well. So we're excited for you. So thank you for sharing. All right. Does anyone else have anything they would like to share out? Please feel free to just unmute.
Hi, Kim. Sorry. Just one update. The Maricopa American Indian Convocation is going to be held on Saturday, May 7th at 10 a.m. at the Phoenix Convention Center. So just if anyone's interested, that's happening in a few weeks.
Yes, it is about that time for all of our ceremonies to start happening for graduation time. And so May is usually a really busy month for all of our Indian educators in that field. And so we'll be sure to grab that date, and we'll share that out in a follow-up email as well with our membership who could not be with us today. So thank you, Carissa. Anybody else? All right, if there are none, just a little bit about what we're doing here in Amphi District. We started our cultural night series. We are actually having that for the next 3 weeks. We're meeting every Monday and Thursday night. And I'm very excited about that because this is the first event we're having in person with our parents in our district here. And my parents and students have really shown up for our first 2 sessions we had on Monday and last night. And so it's really exciting to see the excitement. We actually make our student gifts. My parents and students come together and they create these student gifts for our graduating seniors and also our 8th graders who are promoting into high school. And so it's unique traditional gifts that we make for them, as well as our senior stoles that I don't sew. I'm not a seamstress, but I have had to learn how to use my sewing machine that I had sitting on the shelf, and I had to dust it off. This is the only time I use it, but it's exciting. And my parents are, as I mentioned, they're really showing out for this. And so we're excited to have our parents and students come together once again. Our ceremony will take place. We do a academic honor and award ceremony for our students in district here. As I mentioned, acknowledging our high school graduating seniors and our 8th grade promotees. Our ceremony will take place on a Tuesday evening on May 10th. We are currently working out our flyers. So once we get that, we will definitely share that out as well. And so we know there's so many that's going on, activities that are happening within our in Native communities. And so please, as always, feel free to share out any of those events with us. We do have an email listserv that is pretty broad and we reach a lot of people. And so if you have any information that you would like to share out, to reach out to what involving Indian education or just events, local events for the Native community, again, please share those with us and we will get those out to our membership as well. So with that, that is pretty much all that we have for today. For today's meeting, I do want to make mention that our next meeting will be May 20th. If that changes, then we will definitely let you know, but please mark that we do meet every third Friday of every month. If there's any changes, we send out the update and let our membership know by email and as well as social media. So please keep apprised of that information on our websites as well as your emails. And if anything changes to where we will not meet next month, we will definitely let you know. As I mentioned, I know that there is a lot going on during the month of May, but we want to also provide information, as I mentioned, the space where we can share out any events coming up. And end of the year activities, we like to see pictures of all of our wonderful graduating seniors and those who have graduated college and higher education opportunities. And so it's an exciting time. And so again, we just thank you for joining us. Again, our next meeting will be held May 20th at 11 o'clock. We are meeting currently by Zoom. That may change come fall time, but we will again let our membership know if that takes place. And so with that, I just want to say thank you. I hope to all of you for sharing this time with us, for taking time to be with us this morning, sharing out this information. And we look forward to seeing you and invite you as well to come back and join us again next month. And so with that, we will end this session today and have a good and wonderful weekend. Happy Easter, everybody. And color those colorful eggs. Have a colorful weekend. So take care and we will see you next month. Thank you so much.